What's up, everybody? Hello. Happy Tuesday? Tuesday, right? It's Tuesday. It is Tuesday. And my eyes look a little busted. And the reason why my eyes look busted, I'm going to wait for some people to get on here, see what's popping, see if anybody's trying to catch this live feed that we doing here. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. It is Tuesday. And a little bit earlier today, 7 o'clock, and seeing some people starting to pep up and see what we're going to talk about tonight. Tonight, I don't even know. I just pulled out some bottles. I pulled out some product and said that what we would talk about tonight on the sipping and cocktailing page. I need to get me a sip on first. Hold on. Let's go ahead and get our libations together, shall we? Mm-hmm. And get ready to get our sip on, y'all. Mm-hmm. We're going to get it sipping. Sip, sip, hooray. Sip, sip, hooray. All right, so I decided I'm going to be a little fancy tonight because I was talking about my eyes being busted. They don't look that bad. They ain't too bad. Hey. We live, y'all. We live. Feels like Monday. I don't know what it feels like. I was going to say it feels like a Monday, but who truly knows what it feels like, right? I mean, it's a day that has day in it. Whether it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever, it's a day. So anyway, good to see everyone starting to join up in here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I said that in the promo that we were going to go ahead and talk about, what did I say? Infusing stuff. So I'm going to try to make this a little bit more of a quickie tonight and just kind of get you all set to like infuse whatever it is you want to infuse at home. You can go a few different processes with that. We can go and talk about infusing simple syrups, and we can talk about infusing your spirits, which you can pretty much infuse any of them. Just depends on what you want to do with them in general. So, yeah, how's everyone doing tonight? Y'all doing all right? Got something to sip on yet? Yeah. This is what we're going to be working with tonight. A little Prosecco, yeah. Get some bubbly bubblies. And why do we have the bubbly out tonight? Well, Loren and I, we finally got our wedding pictures. So right before we got live, we went through like all 500 of them. 500. I would walk 500 miles and I would walk 500 more. Yes, time to celebrate. That's a beautiful thing. We like it. We like it. So what's everybody sipping on tonight? I'm pretty sure we got some wine flowing. Any bourbon out there? We drinking water. I mean, what we doing? Hey, Jess. Ow! Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So we just finished going through the first round of checking out all of the photos from the wedding, and they look phenomenal, and we're really excited about getting a little nitty-gritty, doing some editing and posting some, so they'll be flooding, I'm sure, the pages relatively soon. And all that good stuff. All these people popping up, and some people I haven't seen in a minute. I see you, Mommy Juice, a.k.a. La Crema Chardonnay. Yes, Marianne. From one bald, beautiful being to another. That sounds delicious and yummy. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So, all right. Let's get down to business, y'all. There's so many different things. Of course, I went out and did my little essentials tonight today, this afternoon. I guess it's not nighttime yet. And was trying to figure out what I can arm you all with as far as what you can shop for in general and to make different things. We want to talk about layering different profiles as far as having the tools ready to be able to kind of make anything that you have in your cabinet come to life. And the easiest one to work with, I would say, would be vodka, because vodka's, like I said before, colorless, odorless, tasteless. So you're starting already with a blank profile, and then that way you can use whatever flavors you want in order to make that come to life. Now, you can do that via infusing something. Infusions mean that you're going to impart flavor into a spirit or into simple syrup or whatever you want. And you're going to infuse it with whatever that may be. It could be with any kind of fruit. It could be with any kind of herbs. And your herbs range from everything from mint, sage, basil, the whole nine. I actually am going to start growing some herbs inside, legal herbs, inside. To have an herb garden of sorts, so that way we can kind of like pick with different things here. Ooh, Jennifer, I see you. She got a whole bottle of Tito's, y'all. Party at Jennifer's house. Hey, no FedEx yet, Mark. I'm hoping that maybe tomorrow might be the magical day. So I'm looking forward to that shipment. That's why I said I got friends. Ooh. And guess what, y'all? If y'all didn't check it out, y'all got me over 1,000 likes, and I appreciate y'all for it. That is so awesome, so exciting. Got me kind of revved up to start doing some really awesome things, and some pretty cool stuff is in the works. So look forward to posting recipes and tips and little short videos outside of these live feeds, so that way, y'all got what you need. And found some old pictures actually from the Greenbrier for mixology classes I had taught there too. So just be on the lookout. I'm about to flood y'all up with all kinds of goodness. So it's going to be a good thing. So yes, I feel like we're going to go ahead and do something with some champagne tonight. And actually it's not champagne, it's Prosecco. So you got 3 different types of sparkling essentially. They fall in 3 main categories. You could talking about Prosecco. You could say sparkling wine. It's going to be a bubbly that could be made just about anywhere, essentially. And then your true champagne would actually come from the region of Champagne in France. So those are the different tiers of bubbly that we would be working with. So tonight, I don't know. I went, like I said, grocery shopping, and I picked up a little bit of everything. I wanted to do something refreshing. Ace of Spades. I'm not sure what you were speaking of. Not unless you're trying to play some spades, Joe. And we could do that. I mean, that'd be dope. But anyway, I'm going to talk about purees for sure. And I definitely want to talk about just different ways in order to liven up this deliciousness right here. It's not, the best, but, it's okay for us to have something that's not the best and make it into something phenomenal, right? So that's what we're going to do. Infusing wise, I touched on limoncello, and I'm going to give you a really nice recipe for that. That's going to be posted probably tomorrow. I'm going to post that recipe on how you can make your own homemade limoncello. I have some that I've been had sitting brewing here for probably, about a year now. And I've already extracted it, put the simple syrup to it in order to make it limoncello. But we'll get into the nitty-gritty of that at some point in time. But for all intents and purposes, tonight, what am I going to do? I've got some blackberries, I've got some mint, I got some ginger. Ginger is a really great thing to infuse any spirit with, actually. You can get it, and when I went to the grocery store and I saw this donkadonk right here, I was like, oh, we about to do some things with this ginger. So, hey, one thing you want to do first, and many different people do it a couple of different ways. I'm a very pure person. I'm so pure. But I try to get ginger that is a little bit easy. That's not too knobby because it gets a little bit harder to get the outer layer off. Because really, what I want to do is I want to take off all the skin and get down to basics. You can get the skin off a few different ways. You can use a knife if you wanted to, or you can use a vegetable peeler. So I'm going to use a peeler to actually get some of this skin off here. I'm going to get a little rough with it, because the real goodness is underneath with the ginger. Ginger's really easy to work with as far as infusing a spirit, because all you have to do is get the skin off, cut it into slices or elongated spears, so to speak. I just got some ginger in my mouth. Ginger's flowing everywhere. But it's really easy to kind of get that skin off, so that way, totally making a mess. It's okay. I have to clean it up anyway. So that I can get down to like the goodness underneath. So there we have it. Ginger. Yum, yum. It's going to be great. It's actually a really great digestif too. Hard to make ginger juice out of it. So there are many different ways we can do that. You can put it in a blender, like in a, a bullet blender, just to puree up the ginger. But to extract juice from it, you can't just throw this in the squeezer and just call it a day. So that's not how it rolls. But with ginger, one thing that's really awesome about it is that I can get my skin off, right? And I'm going to cut these into like little, I'll call them spears of sorts. So I cut it long ways first, and then I want it to just be able to get smaller spheres so it's easy to put in a bottle, but also easy to get out of the bottle. Because it's a pain in the butt sometimes to try to, if you cut it too big, to try to get it back out of your bottle. So what I would do with this ginger is I would cut my spheres out, and then after I do that, it's easy peasy. I would say in order for you to get your ginger flavor out, especially when you're talking about a spirit, because remember, because spirits have that proof on them, the proof is what's going to help you extract what you need out of the ginger in order to make your spirit ginger tasting. So I would use anything between Everclear or vodka. Vodka is probably the easiest, but you can do tequila, have a ginger infused tequila. And pretty much what you would do is you would take your bottle, like so, and you would open it up. And then after you open it up, you would take a shot. I'm just kidding. You don't have to do it like that. But it works if you want to do it that way. And then after that, I'm not going to do it with this, but you would take your spheres and just drop them right in the bottle. You want to leave enough room so that way you have enough room to work with for all the alcohol to absorb as much ginger as possible. Let it sit for about 24, 48 hours, and you're really going to have a really beautiful product to work with as far as that goes. So that's how you would pretty much infuse anything you want. You can do that with almost anything. If you wanted to do something on a bigger scale, one thing I like to do is to get some mason jars. Get some mason jars, and especially when you're talking about fruits, get a mason jar. You just throw your fruit in there, pour your alcohol on top, and then nicely tighten that lid and let it sit. It's really cool to watch this happen with when you're making your limoncellos, for instance, at home, which I told you we'll talk about. And then it's really awesome. Oh, yes, Kathy, Shine all day. You could totally do it with Shine. Actually, it's much easier to do it with Shine because Shine, and we're talking about moonshine, people. So the equivalent of moonshine-ish would be, as far as having a high proof spirit, Everclear. So you can also use Everclear in order to pull those flavors out. That's really what we're looking for. We're looking to pull flavors out of whatever it is we're infusing. The cool part about it is, this starts clear. So if you're using something like a strawberry, a blackberry, or anything like that, you're going to see over time that spirit is going to change colors. The longer you leave it in, the better it is. With something like a blackberry, what ends up happening is actually your blackberries are going to turn white when all of everything gets extracted from that blackberry from your whatever alcohol you're using. Using a little bit of a lower proof spirit, it's going to take a little bit longer for that to come out. But that's how we infuse spirits at home. And you can get wild with it. One of the infusions, the one that I posted with that CNN whatever thing I did, promo for tonight's session of learning about alcohol. The one thing that I did with that infusion, it was one of my first recipes at the Green Bar, the one that we made, I think last week, maybe 2 weeks ago, called the Argentine Margarita. That was the margarita that I floated some red wine on top of. But what I did for a base spirit, I said, I need something to infuse it. So we're talking margarita. Margarita means I'm using tequila. I like to use a Blanco tequila because it's really nice to be able to have something that's not aged in order to make that spirit really do something nice. Because I want to curb the flavor profile, right? So what I did with this tequila, which is something that you can steal from me, just give me credit, is think about what flavors would I want in a tequila, what flavors would I not only want in a tequila, but also something I might want, just to sip on or to make cocktails out of. So my infusion ended up being, I was like, I want it to be a little bit on the spicy side, so I'm going to throw some jalapenos up in it, yep. And then, when we're talking about spice, what herb would I use? So I'll probably use something like sage, something that's got a little pepper on it. Basil would work really nicely too. But I use jalapenos, sage, and then I said, I need my through line. I need something to calm down those flavors because I like spicy, but I don't want it to be too incredibly spicy. So I threw some cucumbers in there. Let that sit for about a week, and you got a really delicious repurposed tequila. So, and please ask questions along the way as I'm talking about different spirits and how to infuse them and all that great stuff too. But yes, any of those infusions are really nice because what you can do is get your infusion, set your bottle aside, let it do its work on its own. You can play with it if you want, and just throw everything in the cup. Roll it around a few times just to see everything working together. And then by about a week's end, you got a nice, beautiful infused spirit. So that's what infusions are all about. It's repurposing what you already have in order to make a different flavor profile happen. So we'll do a little bit more of that infusing. It's really difficult. It is an early night, girl. I decided to go 7 o'clock and see what people were doing. So I'm playing with the time of what time I do these live. So 7 o'clock works. 8 o'clock, you're starting to get that, I just ate or maybe you didn't, These are different times. So everything changes up. Right here, I'm scared to touch it. I don't know what proof it is. It was just gifted to me for Christmas. I'm really excited about having it. And I'm going to open it up right now. I'm scared to take a shot, though. Oh, I don't know if I should. But this is going to be more of a corn base, if I was told correctly. A corn base moonshine. Oh, boy. Ooh. Smell that. Oh, she's speaking to me. Woo! This shine, yo, put some hair on your chest, yo. I'm telling you. Ooh, Lord, child. Oh, no. My goodness. I'm going to put that back on there. But moonshine normally is going to probably be anywhere between 140, 160. Ooh, that looked dangerous. Let me just see. We're going to do a little experiment here. And I'm going to get out a glass. I want to get one that's nice and clear so you all can hopefully see. And we'll see how powerful this moonshine is and how much it can extract just over the time that we're speaking here. So this is a nice little glass. And we're going to do the test and experiment with blackberries, because that'll be easy for us to see how that color will change over time. So I'm gonna put there in about 3, 4, 5. I can still count 6 blackberries, and we're gonna do the thing. We're gonna do the thing. So finally, here we go. Oh boy, my moonshine is about to be repurposed. Oh boy. So I'm gonna throw this in here into my glass. And as you can see right now, it is what it is. It is just your clear with the blackberries here on the bottom. I don't know if y'all can see that. So that's what we got going on here. I'm gonna set this aside and we're gonna see if anything actually happens during the time that we're here. But generally, like I said, it's gonna take probably about the time we come back tomorrow. Ooh, we can do that. So we'll see what happens by the end of tonight. I'm gonna leave it kind of like this. I'll probably put it in a different container and we'll come back tomorrow and we'll see what this is done, all right? But this is all you do. Throw this in the glass, you got something different. It's gonna be a blackberry spirit of sorts after we're done with everything. So that's our experiment. We're gonna see how that develops over the time. I got my ginger over here. I'm gonna do something with that. You know what? So, a blackberry ginger sounds good. I mean, they ain't never hurt nobody I know of. I mean, if you drink it like this, it will though. But that would be really nice, actually. So we're going to go ahead and experiment with that. I'm going to set this aside, and this will be our experiment for the week, so we'll see how it changes over time. But right now, like I said, all I got in there is some shine, I got some blackberries, and I got ginger. So that's what we're rocking with. Boom. Experiment for the week. We'll see how that infuses over time. So, like I said, I was shopping today, doing my essentials, and Lorraine was talking about, we're both trying to get back on the healthy tip and try to do some more things like smoothies and things of that sort. I said, that's a really good idea, actually. You know what you could do is take any of the bags. I'm going to show you what I got. For smoothies, because I know that they sell, you can always do fresh. Fresh is always great. I'd rather deal with something fresh as opposed to what I'm going to give you as an alternative. But these bags right here, got these at Food Line. And this is a berry one. So this is a berry medley over here. And over here I've got a fruit explosion. Oh my gosh. Can't you just feel it exploding? It's just like, bam. So let's see what we got up in here. We got strawberries, mangoes, and peaches. Not a bad combination at all. Could we just throw this over some shine or Everclear or vodka and sit this in a mason jar and let it infuse itself and see what happens? Absolutely. And that would be really delicious here with this or with this. Or we can make a puree out of it. Now, when we're talking about purees, all I got to do really is unseal this bag. I'm going to throw it into, where's my workspace? Where's my life? I'm going to throw it into, and you can use a regular blender cup if you wanted to. Or if you all have something like this at home, it's kind of like the bullet, right? You can have your bullet, throw all your ingredients in here. Now, what you're going to want to do is throw it in there with a little bit of simple syrup because that's going to help balance out your flavors as far as whatever it is that you're using. You can use this to make fresh daiquiri purees at home. So you can use either a medley like this, or you can just stick with one fruit. So do a strawberry, do a peach, whatever. You can do it this way, frozen style, right? Or you can just fast track everything. And you know what? I was like, this could be pretty good. Let's see what happens with this. Bam. I'm not one to do stuff with canned things because I like all of my stuff fresh, but you can get like this, or you can get those little cups that they use at home, or that you would send in your kids' lunch pails with the little like individual fruit cocktail, whatever, fruit medley, or the ones that's just peaches or pears. And honestly, you could do it either way. You could either do it with no sugar added, so it has its natural fruit juices in it, or you could do it with sugar added, and that's going to give you an instant puree. So if you do want to add rum to it and ice, you got an instant daiquiri just like that at home. So let's go ahead and experiment with that. I'm going to open up this can of peaches because I love peaches. Ooh, Sorry, y'all. Now, peach is going to be sweet anyway. That's a nice peach. That ain't bad at all. I'm actually going to throw this in here. I'm going to do a couple of different ways. I'm going to take the juice out because since it's been sitting in juice, it's going to give anyway as far as making an instant puree. I'm going to put all of this into my bullet. So I got a can of peaches right here in my bullet. I'm going to solidify this on top. And I'm going to be right back. 2 seconds. All right, it was more like 5. But whatever. You understand what I'm saying? All right. So, all I did, I took a can of peaches out. I took the juice out of it. The juice is over here. And then I just threw this in a blender. And then bullet, or if you have like a bigger blender, you can do that. And just like that, I've got... Man, this is why I do so many damn dishes. I've got instant peach puree, which can be used for anything. Now, I can use this to make something inspired with, bam, my Prosecco, right? So, that's an easy way to make peach puree. Prosecco. That sounds like a Bellini to me if I ever did hear of one. So, I am going to have a Bellini to start. And I got this cute little glass I just saw up here. Little cute glass here. So, you can do this a couple of different ways. I am going to do this by... Got a little peach over here. I'm actually going to start with my puree at the bottom of my glass. So I got a little puree over there working. And then I've got the elephant in the room. Oh, yes. Yes, Bellini, Miss Lindsay. Yes. Now, when opening these, you take off that little seal first here. Should have like one of those wraparound seals. You just unwrap it there. I'm going to take off this covering. Now, a little fun fact for you. Now, do you know how many twists it takes for you to open up this bottle of sparkling? 6. Exactly 6 for every bottle of sparkling you open. Now, remember, we got this cage on here for a reason. What you're going to want to do is keep the cage on as you twist. So I got my deal. I got my little pull down tab here. And let's count it out. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 releases the cage right here. Now I'm going to keep that cage on. And you see I got my finger on top of this, right? The colder, the better. Obviously, you're going to want this to be cold. Because if it was warm and if I didn't have my finger on top of this cork would instantly like pop off, and then we'd be like splashing like we celebrate New Year's up in this piece. But we ain't. We just celebrating wedding photos. So I'm going to keep this cage on here. I'm going to twist it off. Are y'all ready for the sound? Oh, this is the best part. Oh. Yeah. Just like, oh. I like that sound. I love that sound a lot. So, got my peach puree already in my glass. I'm just going to pour this on top. I'm going to be slow on the pour because I want those bubbles to help incorporate the peach goodness that's already in there. Pour it nice and slow because if you pour it too fast, then you're going to get some overflow. We don't really need all that stuff. Now, the bubbles are already helping. Hey, Emily, I see you, girl. The bubbles are already helping to blend my Bellini together as I pour it. Remember I was talking to you about that before when you order a vodka soda. Don't ever be one of those straw stabber people who you get their vodka soda, they squeeze the lime in it or whatever they do, and then they instantly go like, I want to mix it, mix. You don't have to do that. The bubbles do it for you. All you got to do is sip it back and enjoy. So, first cocktail of the evening, we got a little Bellini goodness. Because we'll sell. Drink responsibly, people. Drink responsibly. Oh, that's hella good. Now, if I wanted to, you can always keep readjusting. I'm adding a little bit more puree. I like something that tastes a little bit on the refreshing side. So I like this peach just the way it is. Could I add simple syrup to it? Sure. Could I get the peach that already has the sugar added or has more added to it? Absolutely. That's just going to give you more sweetness as opposed to having something that tastes more on the fresh side. This is still sweet. It's not like rock candy sweet. And I hate cocktails like that because what's the point? And so here we are, a little Bellini action, something that you can do with your sparkling. We talked about Saint Germain, right? If I wanted to, I can add a little Saint Germain elderflower liqueur up on this piece, and it would be bombastic. I can do that just with the Prosecco or sparkling wine or champagne or whatever it is I decide to use too. So, many different ways you can go at it, but that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be a peach Bellini. Can you smell it? Put your nose up to the phone. Smell that goodness. Yes. Now, what else could I repurpose this peach for? If I wanted to, I'll put this off camera. If I wanted to, I could actually make something bourbon inspired with it. I've got a puree now to work with, so I can make some kind of a peach bourbon cocktail, shake it up, throw it over ice. You got something peach bourbon right there. Or I could take those peaches, throw it into a mason jar with some bourbon on top of it. Let that sit for about a week and eat the hell out of them peaches. Okay? Them peaches are going to be the most dankety-dank of stankety-sanks of peaches that you've ever had. Now, would I use a canned peach? No. I'd probably use a fresh peach because that's going to help to impart even better flavor into whatever spirit, because you're talking about bourbon at least 51% corn, and then whatever else the mash bill decides it wants to do with it. But then those peaches right there, woo, those are going to be nice. So, many different ways we can come at purees. Like I said, we're going to go ahead and put this peach over here, set it aside, and see what happens. How long will this sit? Well, it depends on whatever vessel you decide to store it in. So you can put that honestly in a mason jar, and you could definitely, oh, I forgot peach is a euphemism for other things. You can use it for many different things. So I find that the mason jar storage is probably your best because it's going to have a really nice seal on it. That's probably your best way of storing something in the fridge and making sure that it stays fresh for a while. So you can do that with any fruit. Peaches are really nice, though. So you can make all kinds of peach drinks all day long. Peach daiquiris, which I'm sure we're going to go over all of that stuff. And depending on what I got in my cabinet left for the rest of the week. But let's see what we're going on over here. So we did a little experiment for anyone else who's joining us. We talked about infusing spirits. And in here, I've got some blackberries. I've got some ginger. And then I also have moonshine up in here. So this is our experiment for the week. We're going to see what happens with that. And set that aside. So far we've done an infusion, blackberries, ginger, and moonshine. I've got some lovely peach puree I just made. So that is something that you can play with and always have. Hey, Miss Beth McGinnis, Avi, I see you. Melanie, I see your peaches. Joy, I love my Henry-isms too. I love you more. Ow. All right, so we've done that. We talked about a couple of different things so far, but I still haven't made like the celebratory cocktail, right? So let's talk for a second about mint, okay? We at the Greenbrier have a lovely cocktail that we can lay claim to, no matter how many stories are told about it. the mint julep. Mint julep is very simple, just like a martini is very simple, but it's also very easy to mess up. And the reason why I'm picking for my garden of Food Lion mint. The reason why is because if you got your mint. Now, mint is a very delicate herb, and because it is so delicate, we want to make sure that we treat it as delicate as it is. We want to make sure not to do anything to over muddle the mint. Why? Because if you over muddle the mint, that's actually going to change the profile of your cocktail. You're going to muddle that mint and pulverize it so much that it's going to turn everything to a sour thing. So this is what you do. You get your mint, right? I've got mine. And I've got a mixing, or a glass. It's not a mixing glass, really. I'm going to put this mint in the bottom of my glass, okay? Got the mint in the bottom of the glass. And what I'm going to do with this is we're going to do something kind of close to a bramble. Bramble is a cocktail from the 1980s from England. We're going to do something a little bit closer to the bramble. It's pretty much going to be your mint. It's going to be, that's the one I repurpose. But blackberries, gin, simple, a little bit of Chambord or creme de cassis, some kind of berry liqueur to top. And we're going to play with the bramble actually maybe tomorrow because I'm going to play with some of my gadgets that I got. So I'm really excited about that. Back to mint. I got my simple syrup still. She's still doing good. I made that one of the first things we talked about. Now, I'm not going to actually put a lot in here. I'm just going to put a little bit of simple syrup on top of my mint. Okay, and then I'm going to get my trusty muddler out, and I can already smell the mint as I just picked it off of the stem. What you want to do is when you go to muddle mint, the most important thing that you need to do is this. I got everything set in front of me. Let me make sure I get a better angle right here. I got everything set right here. I got my mint in the glass. I got my simple syrup in the glass. I got my muddler at the ready. You want to secure your glass. Boom. Glass is secured. I'm going to throw my muddler with the teeth side down, and I'm going to press these oils out because that's what we're looking to get out of it. We're trying to get these oils out. Open up the nostrils because as I do this twisting motion, the quarter motion, turn, twist, and as soon as I smell that mint like coming up into my nostrils, saying hello and hello, how you doing? Once I get that happening, I'm done. My mint is muddled. I got all my oils pressed, and you will not be able to probably see this if I show it to you, but actually that simple syrup has now changed flavor or changed color, much like our infusion over there is going to change color. Same idea. So, I got my mint all muddled in the glass. Yum, yum. And it smells lovely. I don't have to even put it up in my nose. It's just, that scent is just vibrant and beautiful. Now, we got a lot of things to deal with over here. I could go over here and, what did I do? I did peach puree. I can throw some peach up in here. I could throw some blackberries in here. I think that's where I'm going to go. I'm going to go with blackberries. And we're going to kind of go in the air that way as soon as I find my blackberries, what I did with them. Now, when you go to muddle blackberries, it's a little bit of a different game because all you're really looking to do is press the juice out of your blackberries. So I'm going to use about 4 blackberries. I'm going to throw that in there, and I'm going to add that to my soup. The idea is that all I'm looking to do is just to get my blackberries muddled in general. So, bada boom. Getting that all muddled in just enough to incorporate the blackberries with my mint and my simple syrup in there. Yes, yes, and yes. And then you're going to actually smell both flavor profiles. So right now I'm getting a lot of blackberry and I'm getting a lot of mint up in here too. Awesome stuff. Oop, I dropped some on the counter. Hold on. Taste test. That's some good stuff. Now, blackberries, mint. I'm going to throw my ice in here. And I'm actually going to just do like 3 or 4 cubes. I just got the normal cubes, that you normally put in your ice trays or whatever. I'm going to throw 3 or 4 cubes in there. And I think I'm going to go ahead and go with vodka. Why not? Vodka's delicious. Can't even worry about it. It's right here. A little bit of vodka. And I'm doing that just to cover the ice because I'm going to chill all of this down. With my hand. Then this is where you go MacGyver on it, okay? you go all kinds of MacGyver. I'm gonna give you a list of things that you can have in your arsenal, but if all you got is a butter knife, you better use that butter knife to stir your cocktail. So I'm gonna secure my glass. So I get a lovely stir on that, incorporating everything together with my mint, my blackberry, my simple syrup. Oh, yeah. So we got all those things chilling down right now. Oh, that's great. Now, if you don't have a butter knife, you don't need a butter knife. All you need is your pinky. Throw that pinky up in there. Taste test. Stir it again because it's your cocktail, so it's okay. It's okay. Get up in it. Stir that blackberry. And that way you can taste it along the way, right? It's delicious. Now, this is good by itself, but, my glass is only half full. And who wants a half full cocktail? I mean, I'm not going to come to the bar and sell you a half cocktail. You're going to pay for a full cocktail, so you might as well get a full cocktail, right? Well, I said we were going to do something right here, right? Now, I can do this a few different ways. I could just throw the sparkling wine on top of it, call it a day, and drink it. Or, since we're talking about making things look official, I can get a nice little glass out. And since we are doing Prosecco, I guess it's fitting for me to have a nice little flute. Not the instrument, the cocktail glass. And I'm going to do a little justice here. So, I'm going to take all this deliciousness and I'm going to throw it, bam, into my cheater tin. And then I'm actually going to shake this. Okay. I can get my shake on. And not too much because remember, I don't want to dilute too much of the flavor profile in there. I just want to get that goodness that's working in here already. So like I did before with the Bellini, I put my puree on the bottom first, right? Puree went on the bottom, so I'm going to do the same thing with this little inspired cocktail we just came up with here. Blackberry, mint, simple syrup, a little bit of vodka. Look at that color, y'all. That color look, ooh. Hold up, clean up. Clean up. Okay, we're good. We're good. Everything's good. Yes. So there's that. And then I'm going to throw my Prosecco right on top of it. What about it indeed, Mr. Walker? Now be careful. You want to pour a little bit at a time because as those bubbles start to work with what's already in the cup, as you can see, it's already starting to get a nice head on the top of it. So we want to be careful about just throwing it in the cup and not treating it with the delicacy that it deserves. And we just keep on inching towards the top. She's starting to look real pretty there, y'all. Real pretty. And just top it off there at the very, very, very top. I've got the tasters here. I'm going to taste it first this time, though. Nice, refreshing, blackberry mint champagne cocktail. I'm going to go ahead and do that. And if I wanted to get real fancy with it, I'm going to just throw a little bit more of this in here. Now, mint is so delicate that what I would do at the bar in order to get you to really invite you into the cocktail, so to speak, I would put this out here to the side. I get a leaf of mint. And if you see a bartender do this, now you know there's a reason. I'm going to smack that mint. I smacked it. Why? Because it releases the flavor and the oils in the mint. So the very first thing that you smell is going to be that mint that's there sifting and hanging on the top. And after you smack it, if you smell your hands, it's going to smell just like mint. It's pretty awesome. So.
In today's day and age, I don't know if I would smack a man.
Well, okay, he crazy. He over here talking about in today's day and age. I don't know if I would smack a mint in my hands. Well, use hand sanitizer first. Okay, whatever.
Or disinfectants.
We are not injecting no kind of disinfectants up into our cocktails. Smack it. Smack that mint. Release that flavor. That's what we got as far as that goes. So, we talked a little bit about everything. We got some purees working. You know, the world's your oyster with however you want to do that. You know, deal with different flavors and all of that great stuff. Does it change the flavor if you don't have a flute? No. Not necessarily, but there's a different reason why there are different types of wine glasses, Jennifer. And the reason why is to let those aromas actually work around that glass so they release in the right way to your nose. Because if you think about it, part of tasting is actually the smelling. It's the getting that scent. And so it's a two-part process. It's actually more than a two-part process. But yes, that's the reason why we have so many different glasses. The flute is just iconic for the bubbles, actually, in order to help those bubbles go in the right direction so that it stays that way for your time of imbibing. So that's the difference. It doesn't taste any different, truly. But if you were to put champagne or Prosecco or a sparkling wine into a wine glass, it'd be a little bit of a different experience as far as how you incept the smell that affects what you're actually tasting. When you start adding flavors on top of it, everything else kind of like overloads it. So the smell overtakes like the experience, and then on the back end you get the taste as the finish. So that's kind of this is kind of a long answer to a short answer, so to speak, as far as that goes. Any other questions out there? Man, I'm ready to get some drinking on, y'all. Yes. Like I said, limoncello recipe, that's going to be up here in a little bit. I'll probably do it by tomorrow's broadcast, since I'm broadcasting live these days. And talk about limoncello. It is so easy. Y'all, I'm telling you right now, my family can attest to this. They don't even ask for Christmas gifts anymore. You know, like they just expect that I'm going to give them limoncello every year. It's the easiest thing to make. All you have to do is set it and forget it. Just like those infomercials say back in the day. You set that limoncello, you get all your work done in the beginning. We started talking about that last time, about the removal of the pith, the white part of the inside of the fruit, making sure that that was good. Or you can fast track it and do the zesting process by getting your microplaner out and zesting the outside of your fruit with the microplane. So this is probably your easiest process. I got my microplane and I got my fruit. Always make sure you wash your fruit because there is a coating of wax on the outside of that. That's not something that won't necessarily be strained out by the cheesecloth on that process once you do your limoncellos. But as I zest this, what we're looking to get out of this is what I'm about to show you. Oh my gosh, that smells good. Now, you know what I could do because, then I'm going to have a naked lemon. So I'm going to have what I like to call albino lemon. So I'm going to have albino lemon. Ain't much else I could do with it except for squeeze the juice out of it, which I could put in my blueberry mint champagne cocktail, right? But this is what you're going to be left with. That zest. That zest is what you're going to want to put in your mason jar. Generally, a good rule is probably about 10 to 12 lemons per 750 milliliter bottle of whatever it is you're using. the higher the proof, the more lemons I actually put in. That's how I roll with it. So if I'm using just vodka, then I'll use about 10 to 12 lemons. Do my zest on 10 to 12 lemons, throw it in a mason jar, throw your vodka on top of it. In about 14 weeks, Hello, I haven't been drinking. In about 14 days, 2 weeks, you will have your clear spirit will now be yellow. And then all of your zest will pretty much be white because all of those oils that are in there have been extracted, and that's what you want, right? And so you do that, strain that through a cheesecloth, put it back into, you add your simple syrup to that, so equal parts. If I'm using 80 proof vodka and I put equal parts of simple syrup to it, guess what the proof's going to be? 40, because I just cut it with water, essentially, half the proof. So that's pretty much where most limoncellos lean. I like to use a higher proof, and I like my proof to come down to about 60. 60 is palatable. 80 is a really nice sipper that you can just leave in the freezer and just pull that bottle out anytime you want some nice limoncello. So yeah, that's some good stuff right there. Really good stuff. So, any other questions out there while I'm on here? I did make that. Oh, I've been a lot longer than I thought it was going to go. Hey. Because I guess that means it's drink o'clock. Time to get the drink on. I've been getting your questions through the live feed, of past live feeds. And so we have quite a few things that we can talk and discuss. And we will gauge this more towards mixology and as far as setting you up for some stuff to have in your cabinet so that we can actually craft cocktails together. You can make it with me while we're all live, all of that good stuff. So, any other questions out there before I start drinking? Let me just start right now. Just saying. Hopefully everybody's been doing good. Like I said, and started off this afternoon finally getting those wedding photos and was boo-hooing big time before I got on here. Just looking at it, reliving the day and all of that great stuff. So if there's nothing else, y'all know what to do. Raise your glass. Get up off your ass. No, I'm just kidding. You ain't got to do that. Just sit down. Just sit down. Enjoy, imbibe. We'll be back here tomorrow discussing something else. Don't know exactly what that is, but we will discuss other things and touch on other questions that have definitely gotten along the way and start the session out that way, okay? But until then, y'all, be good, be well. Sip on my sippers. I love you long time, and we'll see you back here tomorrow. All right, be good, y'all. Peace.